I'm just going to say this. I was going over free agents. There was one, some news was kind of circulating around a little bit, which I did not know that he was available. Now, this involves the linebacker core, the linebacker situation, which we keep talking about safeties, linebackers, pretty much every single day. Because I think it's really important. I think linebacker is probably one of the weakest positions as of right now. Obviously, other than names of Nakobe Dean, we really don't know what we have in Nicholas Morrow and Davion Taylor. You know what I mean? We don't really know how this thing is really going to go about. You know what I mean? If they have the right guys at that position, really Nakobe Dean's the only one I feel very comfortable with. Nicholas Morrow, I think I feel good about him, but like I said, I need to see a lot more when it comes to that position. And Kwon Alexander is available. He is available, and it makes the difference because you don't have to trade for him. You don't have to trade for, obviously with Patrick Queen, you have to trade for him. Isaiah Simmons, you have to trade for him, so what else is really out there? Now it's jumped to a few teams. He's 28 years old, relatively young. I think he only signed like a 1-year deal with the New York Jets last year. Okay, so now finding a new team. There are some rumors that he might go back to the Jets on a multi-year deal. I don't know what money he's looking for. I don't know what he wants to get paid or something like that. So really over the last 3 seasons for Kwon Alexander, I'll read some statistics out because likely I haven't really been following him too much. And what's really good about him is he's he can move all over the field. He can move in the slot. He can move as an outside linebacker. So he could play in the box. He could do a lot of things. So he's got really good versatility, which will bring really good competition to the linebacker core. So last 3 seasons for Kwon Alexander. So 5 sacks, 19 quarterback hurries. He's broken up 6 passes and an interception. Really under Robert Saleh last year, which I'm glad this information did come out under him. So he had 44 snaps along the defensive line. He had 386 snaps in the box and 126 snaps in the slot. So, they really moved him all over the place last year. Now, he's moved to a couple teams, you know what I mean? And now really want to find like a home, I guess, for the next couple of years. I don't know what this contract is going to look like, but I wouldn't doubt the Eagles are looking into it, at least making a phone call, even, to his agent, even if it's not, obviously it's up to Kwon Alexander at the end of the day, but you want to bring more versatility and pass coverage. You have your guy right here. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's like some amazing player, but I think with a good defense around him, I think he'll produce very well. And might be a really good piece for us as a group effort with what we have right now. So going into camp, like I said, there's 2 things that can happen. Either they're not going to sign anybody and they're going to let this thing play out, or they're going to let this thing play out at linebacker and kind of, make a move. You know what I mean? And I think they need to add one more piece to that linebacker core. I think they really have to. Okay, there's 4 open roster spots right now. Unless they really have interest in Patrick Queen or really have interest in trading for Isaiah Simmons, I think Kwon Alexander would be great. Just the Eagles have enough money. I don't think Kwon Alexander is going to get paid that much money. He's one of the only remaining free agents that are left. I don't know what he's looking for. Obviously, his market isn't going to be as big as he thinks it's going to be. I don't know what he expects to get paid. But all I want is to just bring him in and just see what he could do. You know what I mean? See what he does against these other guys. Now, I want to really focus on our own roster and see what we have, and I think that's what the Eagles should do. Don't just jump and just jump to signing a free agent every time we somewhat have a hole in our defense. And I think this would help tremendously with the competition, and maybe, I don't know. If the Eagles think highly of him, they'll sign him and, he'll become a starter. If not, I don't think Kwon Alexander is going to come to the Philadelphia Eagles and just try out for this team. He knows he could start. He knows he could start for a team right now. And if that's the case, then for me, I don't know. I'd rather bring him in and just see what he could do and see what he does in training camp and just see how it kind of unfolds. We don't really know what we have, behind it. Is Davion Taylor, can he stay healthy? 21 season for him was fantastic for Davion Taylor. I think it was probably his best season him and TJ Edwards were a really good pair, and then he had a knee injury. Then he was hurt last year. You know what I mean? So we all know that they might use Nolan Smith a lot, in pass coverage, whether he's an outside linebacker or dropping in coverage from the defensive end. So I think that goes a lot into this too with Nolan Smith. Could switch positions or could be in certain packages for the Eagles defensively, which whatever Sean Desai wants to do. And Nicholas Morrow is, I think his athleticism is in question in some points. I don't think he's the best coverage guy. I think he can cover at times, but I don't think he's consistent with it. I think he's more of a stopgap, really a good blitzer, and could strengthen the gap really well. So I think when it comes to going after the quarterback too, I think Nicholas Morrow's good and he's physical and there's good things to take out of it. But like I said, I gotta wait and see what this whole thing's gonna turn into, because if I'm really looking at Nakobe Dean and Nicholas Morrow that I'm trying to really like more and more. And then really after that, there's really nothing unless Davion Taylor shows out, stays healthy, and looks like it. And we're kind of surprised when our jaws drop to the floor, which, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't. So I know we're, got a little bit to training camp. I know there's a little bit of time left, but, Kwon would be interesting. And if the Eagles feel, Howie Roseman, it's not up to Nick, it's up to Howie to figure if this is, if this linebacker core is good enough. And I'm not going to put so much emphasis on an undrafted free agent and, Ben Van Simmeren from Michigan State. It's just not going to happen. He's a freak athlete. I mean, he's fantastic, but, it's just his transformation to the NFL as a NFL linebacker. I mean, that's what it's going to come. And he's an undrafted guy, so there are flaws. There are things with guys that come into a team like this. So I'm not going to put too much on him, but I hope he does make noise. But there's really nothing about this linebacker core that's intriguing right now besides Nakobe Dean. And we got to hope that he plays really well. I'm not saying he's not, guys, but we have to see it. Like, I can't go off of Georgia tape. I can't go off of the small sample sizes he had last year. If he was, somewhat started half the season last year, a quarter of the season or something, at least we had something. But we have some tape on him, and it looks very, very promising on how productive he was when getting his chances in this defense when the Eagles were up multiple touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I'm going off of right now. Until we hit training camp, we see the depth chart, we see who starts with first team, and we start to get an idea of what's going on here. Do the Eagles feel like they have a strength at linebacker, or do they think that they need to add another piece? And I didn't even know Kwon Alexander was even available. And this could be a very intriguing piece to bring to your linebacker room and for more competition for training camp. And if they think he's reliable, then yeah, he could be our next starting outside linebacker. It'll be between him and Nicholas Morrow and just kind of see what happens after that, but it wouldn't hurt to bring in a guy like this. And, that's really up to the Eagles. I don't know if they think linebacker is a weakness right now. They don't draft linebackers high. They don't pay linebackers. Obviously, there's not one linebacker on our team that's making a lot of money, and no linebackers made a lot of money in a lot of years, like a monster contract. So, if it's going to be a contract for Kwon Alexander, it's going to be a cheap one. It's not going to be, a multi-year, whatever. So the longer that Kwon, Alexander waits, the cheaper he's probably going to get. And it really depends on him where he wants to go. Who knows? The Eagles might not have any interest in linebackers right now, but the things we don't see or hear are likely the things that do happen sometimes. Just because things aren't reported doesn't mean that they have no interest. There's stuff that happens behind the scenes, and then signings come out of nowhere from Howie Roseman. If you know Howie Roseman, you know how he works, you know what he does. So yeah, I think he would be great. I wouldn't mind this at all. Look, if you don't want to give up draft compensation for next year's draft, with the Eagles slating to 11, 12 draft picks next year, and you really don't want to give up any more picks, I totally understand that. You don't want to trade for Patrick Queen, don't want to trade for Isaiah Simmons. You just don't want to do it. Even though for Patrick Queen, it won't. For Patrick Queen and Isaiah Simmons, the trades make more sense in a way because they're on the last year of their deals and they're cheap against the cap. So really, it's not going to make a big difference. Now, Kwon Alexander, I don't know what he's looking for, but I'm excited to see where he signs, and if it's the Eagles, then great. If not, I'm kind of interested to see what that contract is going to look like, and what role. I mean, usually players that are in still free agency, that can definitely contribute to a team right now that are still left in free agency right now, they could be looking for a little bit more money, and obviously they want a starting spot if they're waiting this long. They wait till after free agency, after the draft, and they kind of wait till things kind of settle down to see what team is the right fit for him. The best situation for a player, or, in this case, Kwon Alexander's point of view. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about Kwon Alexander. If you think just to bring him in and maybe him be here for a year, and maybe he could spike up the competition a little bit, and maybe if he arrives, he could push somebody out. Obviously not going to Kobe Dean, but he could push out anybody after him. So I would like to see it. Why not? I still think they add another body. Just give it a chance, and let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. If you last this long in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well, and give me your obviously take on the linebacker core. Just let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of how this is going to play out. Do you think this is going to be a wait and see approach by the Eagles? Do you think they're going to keep what they have, or do you think they're going to add another body later on after training camp, before training camp? You let me know. Should be really interesting. Linebacker is a very interesting position this year, and I'm actually excited to see how it turns out. And I think it's going to turn for the better good of this roster and going forward. It would really, really nice to have somebody long term. And the Kobe Dean's here for after this year, a couple more years. And I would like to have another piece in here for a couple years or something, because really at the end of the day, like, you're looking at Davion Taylor's contract is going to be done soon. Nicholas Morrow's a 1-year deal right now. The only long-term answer you have right now really is Nakobe Dean. You know what I mean? And what that looks like down the road, we'll see. But I'm excited for it. So leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. SHAKESQUAD, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.